Good day, Yums. This is Sir J. This is the first the video presentation that I made also as an example for your performance task. I'll be discussing the first topic for the second quarter, the dominant approaches and ideas, specifically discussing the institutionalism. Okay, be ready, listen, and then after the discussion, we'll be having a short test or an evaluation or an assessment if you have a clear understanding of the topic. Moving on, let's have the objective of the lesson. The objective of the lesson is to examine the constitutive nature of informal and formal institutions and their actors and how it constrains social behavior. So we will be in deep explanations of the nature of the institutions and explaining what are the actors' responsibilities and roles within that institutions and how it guides our social behavior. When we are in inside the institutions, we are bound to obey and to respect the rules and regulations in its context. For example, you're in school, that is an educational institutions. You must be abiding with the rules and the policies of the schools. Okay? That's what you call institutionalism. You are abiding on the system of the institution. That is institutionalism. Okay? So we will be dealing with the explanation and deep understanding of the word institution, the nature of the institution, the formality of the institution, the informality. Those are the types of institutions. Of course, who are the actors in these institutions and what are their roles and responsibilities. As well, these what's inside the institution, everything by its nature, basically it guides to our behavior. Susunod tayo dito, no? Kung ano man yung understanding natin sa institution na to, ano man yung meron sa institution na to. Okay? That is the subject all about. That is the topic all about. I'll give you an example, no? On those who are person who are deprived of liberty, they call it as the prisoner, no? They were housed in the kawanihan ng mga bilangguan and we can call it now as the Bureau of Corrections. Actually, these people are guarded. No? The place is secured. The rules are tight, very intact. Saka they were guarded by armed guardia, police. So abiding by the rules of this area or in this institution. So believing on the systems, respecting on the systems inside the institutions. That's what we call institutionalism. Okay, getting the idea? Now, inside this believed prison, there are programs, there are activities. Actually, there are livelihood activities there. Pwede rin silang kumita. Yung mga programs, they have these educational programs, other activities, Bible studies. So, merong purpose and goal yung institution na ito. Actually, the laws are very strict, very intact. As I've told you, the goals and objectives of the Bureau of Corrections is try to correct those people who are not on the tracks on doing something good. So they try to correct these people to go back to the track of goodness and discipline in the society. That's why this believed prison, we cannot call this believed prison anymore. We call this as the Bureau of Corrections. We have to correct. We have to correct these people. Okay? Another thing is if this institution or an area, example, place that you're living in, residing in. There are roles provided by you, and you have and then you have to act on it. There are laws which is very strict. There are prohibitions. The area or the place that you're living in as an institution, meron silang mga objectives or goal, just like in the Bureau of Corrections, they try to correct these people who sin from the society. And those actors are doing their responsibilities and duties to make a full system working. No? Yan ang tinatawag na functionality. And these roles, laws, and objectives actually guides our behavior. Kapag ang society talaga ay meron siyang mga rules, simpleng rule lang ng bawal tumawid, hindi ka tatawid siya. Those laws, policies, guides your behavior. Okay? In what particular, no? In this types of the institutions, no? In our society right now, we have the different types like the educational, governmental, educational, religious institutions, social institution, economic institution. Saan napapabilang ang Bureau of Corrections or the Believing Prison? Anyone? Correct. Belonging to the governmental institution because the government has also a task or responsibilities to the people to maintain the social order. Kaya yung mga nagkakasala, ikinikulong muna yan, tapos kinokorek. Okay? Kung ang correctional facilities like we have now is they have programs in educating those people, it could be a part of the educational institution. But mostly, the correctional facilities like the Muntinlupa or the Bureau of Corrections is under the wing of the government institutions. Okay? Thus, institution is a structure or mechanism. Ito ay kabuuan um, para maggumana yung social order and cooperation that actually governs people with their behavior within a given community. Like in the Philippines, ano yung mga rules natin? Ano yung mga policies? Ano yung mga dapat natin na hindi ginagawa? Yun ang gagawin natin. And it actually guides our behavior. Kailangan sumusunod kasi tayo doon. Eh. So kapag lahat ng tao na yon doing their roles and we can call it as the institution. Generally, institution entail that there is a level of persistence and continuity. Kapag persistence ang social order and there is a continuity of the social order as well, established ito. Matibay, no? Matibay yung panuntunan nito na talagang pinanagutan that there must be a social order, peace, and organization in the particular institutions. Laws, rules, social conventions, and norms are all examples of institutions. Institutions vary in their level of formality and informality. In school, no? Paano natin mapapanatili ang kaayusan? Paano natin mapapanatili ang kalinisan? Siyempre, there must be a strict compliance of the rules. Bawal ka na ng basura. Okay, di ba? Lagi ka dapat naka-uniform and that is such school policies. Ano yung buhok mo dapat? Pag boys, ano dapat ang buhok? Pag girls, ano? Paano inaayos yung buhok? So to be able to maintain the parts of the social order, organization, cleanliness, involve ang policies, no? To be able to maintain that. Kailangan persistent ito and consistent as well. And there must be a continuity of those laws, rules, social convention, and social orders. Pag wala, ano mangyari? Kaguluhan siya. Okay? Like in the military academy, naobserbahan ko to, no? Talagang they were living or they are actually was not housed in a 4-year stayed in the academy. Talagang strict, no? Yung ang kanilang discipline, yung kanilang panuntunan at gabay sa pagkatao, eh, nagbabago yan after 4 years staying in the military academy. Kaya matitinik, no? Tsaka matitikas, graduate ka ng PMT. Okay? So, ganun yung panuntunan nila at kapag nilalabag ito, there is there is a pagiging chaotic, hindi maayos. Kaya kailangan in that institution, the compliance and the social rules are actually very siya and strict. Like in this institution, no? Philippine Military Academy. Pumasok yung kaibigan mo after 4 years, iba na yung panuntunan niya sa buhay, iba yung discipline. Even yung stance ng kanyang tayo, parang soldier talaga ang dating niya. Nasanay ito doon sa isang institution na talagang intended for that particular purposes. No? Okay? So, with that Philippine Military Academy, I've said earlier, I think as I have asked earlier, sino napapabilang ng Philippine Military? Is this part of the governmental institution? Religious pa to? Educational pa to? Social institutions ba to? Yes, the Philippine Military Academy, like the school yan. Eh. It's part of the educational institution. For example, the church, na napapabilang yan. Religious institutions. Banks, yung mga bangko, sa napapabilang. Economic institutions. The family, the marriage is, take note, a marriage is an institution. Or belonging to what? Social institution. Right? So if an institution is there is an obvious or indirect objectives. For example, in the military academy, we call it as the total institution. They are all only intended purposibly with that particular objectives like yung care institutions. Ano yan? Yung mga nursing homes, home for the aged. Yan lang talaga ang purpose nila. Like the quarantine institutions, the rehab facilities, ayan, mga correctional facilities, prisons. Isa rin yan sa mga quarantine facilities, no? May objective din siya and those objectives are part of the institutions. Productive institutions, no? Ito yung mga prison on jail, may purposes. Yung mga retreats types of institution, yung mga monasteries. Kumbento at saka yung mga bahay ng mga pari, yan. May very religious yan. Part of the religious institutions that they have particularly an exclusive objectives kung bakit meron silang ganong klaseng institutions. Okay? Describing the formal and the informal institution. Formal is actually the rules, the policies, the laws are all written and documented. Formal ito. Like we have in our country constitution, we have written rules and laws. Formal institutions ang Philippines. Okay? How about the informal institutions? Institutions refer to panlitan socially shared rules or norms. Pero sa society na, hindi naman nasusulat, pero kailangan natin sundin. Maybe due to respect and reverence to traditions and cultural values. Okay? For example, yung pagmamano, wala namang naisusulat, no? It's only in the traditions. Pero we vow to to respect our elders through pagmamano because that's part of our culture. Okay? Yung paggamit ng po at opo, no? Ito pa yung mga bagay na with that formal rules and the informal constraint, minsan nagmimix siya na pwede nating sundin na merong part din na kapag that we don't follow those informal constraints and formal rules, we are not actually disobeying or disrespecting the rules. May ganon, no? Ibig sabihin, pag hindi ka ba nagmano, masama ka na. Hindi naman sulit ang pagmamana. Pero sinusundin natin yan bilang paggalang. Okay? So in that particular society, nagmi-mix yung mga formal at saka informal. Another example is the use of po, opo. Sige po, sir. Yes, ma'am. Pag hindi ka pa nagpo, hindi ka na magalang. Basically, in our area, in our province, Visayas, wala kami mga po at opo. Kaya pagkala mo pag nagsasalita yung mga, kala mo mga bastos. Kuhain ka na. Kahit patanda yung kausap. Because we don't use po at opo, no? And then we don't tend to disrespect the elders. Or maybe the counterpart mo, yung kapag face-to-face acquaintance mo, hindi ka gumagamit ng po at opo, alam mo mas patanda or respectful due to his position, hindi ka naman ano dyan. Not unless sinigawan mo. Okay? So yung the informal constraint and the formal rules, nagmimix sometimes yan. ah ginagawa pero hindi naman violating something. Bawal pero hindi ka makukulong in some light. Okay? If the institution is a structure or mechanism of social order and cooperation governing the behavior, kasi it leads to your behavior, you know? Kung ano yung bawal, kung ano yung dapat rules, yun susundin mo, di ba? Kapag bawal mangopen sa klase, bawal yun. Okay? And that's govern your behavior that actually leads to act based on the behavior that is set in an institutions. Okay? That is institution. So, if that is the definition or the meaning of the institution, what is now institutionalism? Dinagdagan lang natin ng ism, no? Take note that ism is a system. If institution is a mechanism for social orders, what is then institutionalism? Institutionalism is a system or approach by which structures, including schemes, rules, norms, and routines, become established as authoritative guideline. Established na to. Ito na yung dapat nating gawin. So ito na yung dapat nating sinusunod. If you're doing that, people are following, respecting those rules and policies called as the institutionalism. Sir, iba-iba ba yung institutionalism ng bawat institution? Bakit? Diba? Like in the Bilibid prison, they have separate language used. In the hospital, no? Pag nag-uusap yung doktor at saka mga nurses sa hospital, sometimes hindi mo maintindihan na, Doc, CBC, 40%, ano yun? Because they have their own language in that particular context of institutions. Okay? Sabi ko nga sa separate laws, separate rules and policies, traditions, language use, part of the institutions. Okay? So institution is a system. Basta pag may ISM, it is a system of doing what's in the institution. Okay? For example, no, si Sir J nakulong. Oh, ayun, no, nakulong siya. Oh. Sa likod pa noon, ano. So si Sir J nakulong, ano ngayon yung kanyang appropriate behavior sa Bilibid prison? Ano yung role niya, no? As an actor, ano yung responsibility? Pareho rin ba pag nasa labas siya? That is totally different because that is a different institution. Yung responsibility niya as a part of the institutions. O yun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina yung mga roles niya. Ano yung kanyang mga language na ginagamit? Kakaiba na rin yan. Because sa loob ng institution na yan, they have a different language. Philippine Military Academy, meron silang mga language, no? Meron silang kind of behavior that is actually appropriate in that particular institutions. Sir, paano kapag nag-act ka not on the basis of that institutions? Anong mangyayari sa'yo? Will not survive. Di ba? That's the thing. Pumasok ka sa isang society, aralin mo yung society. Kung ano meron sa society, you have to act on it. Huwag mo kontrahen. Di ba? Daloy, yung daloy ng tubig, magpaanod ka lang dun. And that is actually institutionalism. Okay? Gets na yung term? A man going abroad, no? Anong mangyayari sa kanya doon sa abroad? Ano yung kanyang appropriate behavior? Ano yung role niya? Ano yung kanyang mga responsibilities as a part of that particular institutions? Ano na kayong mga language na gagamitin? Pag yung nagmamigrate yung Filipino family, no, mga bata pa yung mga anak, pag lalaki niyan, hindi na Filipino yan, no? They are practicing American culture. Baka hindi na marunong mag-Tagalog yan, you know? And they speak English. And the behavior is Americanized. Nagbe-blend sila eh. Okay? They are practicing the system of that particular institution. System of that particular institution called this institutionalism. Gets? Ikaw nasa school ka, tinuturuan ka ng ano, mga teacher. Ano yung appropriate behavior? Angal ka pa sa grade mo, pinagbigyan ka na nga. Hindi ka mag-blend doon sa, okay? Ano yung role mo as a student? Di ba? Ano yung mga responsibilities mo? Mag-iingay ka ba dito? Ano ka ba? Yung kulit mo ba doon sa bahay nyo, dadalhin mo sa school? Hindi yan ang institutionalism. Yung language used in the classroom, language used in the, what's particular language used in school? Kailangan respecting ang mga languages. Di ba? Teacher, parang gaganon mo ba yung teacher mo? Okay? Of course, not unless casual ang communication. So what you are applying in a particular institution, the act, the behavior, the responsibilities, abiding by the system is called institutionalism. And that is our subject and topic for the first video presentation on the different ideas and discipline in social science. And that is institutionalism. Gets? Kung na-gets, thank you. Okay? So, be observant in the video presentation. Less text. Explanation, I don't read, no? Nasa sa isip ko lang siya. No? And then, I give in some way examples. Maybe in some way, pictures, no? At saka giving some of my knowledge and experiences as part of the lesson. Okay? Yan ang gagawin nyo. And this is an example of your video presentation. For the second time, thank you.